Protesters upset about President Donald Trump's policies marched through downtown Portland this afternoon. A small group started gathering around noon in Waterfront Park for a rally they're calling Rage Against the Regime.
I don't like that he's having ICE agents with masks just rounding people up. So that's not America. We need to stop that. Go back to the way we used to be.
They started marching earlier this afternoon. The protests remained peaceful.
Protesters cite a range of troubling events in their community as a cause for alarm. Paxton Gray says he's speaking out for individuals he believes are silenced by fear as immigration policies grow more restrictive.
It's just basic human empathy of knowing these people have families, these people are contributing to our communities, and they're being used by scapegoats.
Though he's taken a stand, he remains uneasy about what's to come.
It could be us next. Once they come for one group, they're going to end up coming for us all.
Organizers say that this protest is nonpartisan. They say that they all are here with the same goal, and that's to move this country forward.
Though it does give us more of an opportunity to be able to reach out to more to say, look, is this what you voted for? If not, again, it has nothing to do with being a Democrat or a Republican. It has to do with being an American.
We want to make sure that people are getting due process and that the voice of the American people are heard.
Some say this march represents much more than just one issue.
For me, it is to actually start speaking up. I'm really new to activism, but I felt like I couldn't sit idly by anymore and watch what was happening in our country without exercising my First Amendment right and speaking up against what I felt like was wrong.
Topics discussed during the protest included ICE operations, lack of due process, defunding public media, and accountability of politicians.
I'm extremely concerned for my neighbors, who I see as my brothers and my sisters, and that is something that I would like to see changed, that they are not allowed to just be taking people off the street, racially profiling them, and without due process.
But protesters agreed there are several things residents can do to make a difference.
Protecting the immigrants in their communities, whether that's setting up food kitchens, shelters. As the government is robbing us of all of these services, it's up to us to step up and protect each other until we can take our government back.
Idaho 5051 hosts the Rage Against the Regime rally at the Idaho State Capitol.
I am denial that Trump was voted in again.
Demonstrators gather at the State House to rally against the Trump administration, Idaho representatives, and the Idaho legislature with concerns on a variety of different issues.
When I get really, really depressed and then I come to one of these, then it buoys me back up and makes me realize that, okay, I'm not alone, that there are lots of other people that feel the same way as me. We're not powerless. We're not hopeless. We're not powerless.
The Rage Against the Regime rally had hundreds in attendance, but it paled in comparison to the last two 5051 rallies I've been to.
America does not do kings.
Chris Rajat and Corrine Deckard told me they only heard about Saturday's rally a few days ago.
And also, I think people are getting burned out. I mean, we're all fighting so hard, and everybody needs to take a break sometimes, and that's okay.
Idaho 5051 organizers also told me they have felt the burnout, but the movement will continue with rallies across the country and across Idaho.
The communication part has definitely been a challenge. We have all of our social medias, but, we're also, slaves to the algorithm. And we've been actually working a lot on the back end to improve that communication.
Organizers have put together an email list to reach people that don't use Facebook and other social media avenues. Joe Termes says coming to rallies marks the first step in attempting to make change.
But to make real systemic change requires time, it requires money, it requires the use of everybody's skills.
But whether it's communication, moving the rally to earlier in the day to avoid the heat, or because it's just summer in Idaho, this rally didn't hit as hard as the previous ones.
Yeah, I think there is some sense of burnout, even amongst the organizers. There's also, a little bit of futility, I think, on people's parts as we get an onslaught of bad news every day.
This rally featured a drive for school supplies, and organizers have also set up a food bank.
This is a time where I don't think the government, particularly this administration, deserves our support.
The demonstration, organized by activist group Indivisible Charlottesville, included a food drive to the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank and a station to write to elected officials. Vanessa Russell, a member of Indivisible Charlottesville, says it's all an effort to help those impacted by the Trump administration.
We are out here to support our community because our democracy, or our
elected officials are making decisions in the middle of the night to cut programs for those who need it the most.
With signs, flags, and chants, protesters each had their own reason for attending the rally, citing topics from federal funding cuts to tariffs. For Tatiana Bird, a student activist, the protest was an opportunity to support community members impacted by immigration policies.
Just having your eyes and ears open to the world and understanding that the things going on right now are just simply not compatible with an enduring society, with a society that values empathy and just baseline human care.
Bird says protesting may not be the tipping point for change, but shows the community's willingness to act.
Showing for the people who can't be here that, they are supported. There is a community that's here to speak up for them.
Bonita Wilson says she's never protested until this year, but was motivated to act out of outrage with Trump's actions in office. Like other protesters, she hopes the rally will make a difference.
I hope that it motivates other people to get up, stand up, and fight back and vote.
If we can get our voices heard, people will understand that we're not capitulating.
Signs reading "America First, Dump Trump," and "Hate does not make us great again" lined the sidewalks of downtown Colorado Springs as dozens of people joined a nationwide protest called Rage Against the Regime.
Everyone is here because we're really concerned about everything that's going on in our federal government right now, all of the different cuts that they're making, all of the extremism that's going on.
Organized by 5051 Movement, many protesters also say they are fighting for due process against ICE after an operation took place in Black Forest on Thursday.
It's sad. It's very hard to see humans running like they're being chased by hounds and their foxes. It's dehumanizing and it's sad.
The protesters are also upset about the federal government's plan to possibly bring 2 new ICE facilities to Colorado Springs as part of the 6 that are planned in Colorado. Protesters say the city should step in to stop the proposal.
I like to think of it as we are the sharp end of the spear that is going to poke that beast in Washington, D.C. and kill it.
The 5051 movement is an abbreviation of the phrase 50 protests, 50 states, 1 movement, which has previously organized the hands-off and No Kings protests earlier this year.
I'm not sure that any human can really be illegal just here. Suggesting that they're illegal as a human is wrong.
The group has also promoted several other rallies of days of action since Trump took office. The protest was peaceful, with the message being simple: every person deserves a chance to have their day in court.
Every person, it doesn't say every citizen, it says every person that is on American soil has the right to due process, and that is what's missing right now, and that's what concerns me.
Today we're out here for Rage Against the Regime. We're fighting against the big beautiful bill. We call it the big ugly bill. And what this does is take from the least of us and give to the billionaires. Last time I checked, the billionaires don't need any help. We're also here to shed light on the relationship between Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump that went on for 15 years.
Patty Lyons has been a part of several protests across Green Country and explains her reasons for being a part of this one Saturday afternoon.
Well, I'm a concerned American about our democracy. I believe that our country's kind of going in the wrong direction. I'm concerned about the balance of powers, that we don't have that right now, and I'm concerned it's getting worse, and I need my fellow Americans to know about it.
Their lone protest Sunday has come under fire recently. The location of which it is going to be held is next to the Charles Schusterman Jewish Community Center, with the Tulsa Jewish Federation calling it an act of intimidation against the Jewish community in a statement on Wednesday. While Rage Against the Regime claims it is not an attack on any faith, but rather a call for accountability, justice, and protection of Palestinian civilians, and invited members of the Jewish community to join them in solidarity.
Atlanta's Rage Against the Regime March was one of hundreds organized across the U.S.
We believe in peaceful and nonviolent protest as a way to enact change.
On Saturday morning,
denying them the right to the American dream doesn't just hurt them, it hurts all Americans.
Demonstrators gathered outside the King Center in the city's Sweet Auburn neighborhood.
To bring back to Atlanta the belief that we fight for civil rights in a peaceful, nonviolent fashion, but we are just as concerned with what happened in the city. 60s is what's happening right now.
Chants echoed through the city as the group moved through the streets of downtown, making their way to the gates of Atlanta's ICE field office on Ted Turner Boulevard.
The specific topic here today was about immigration, immigration rights, immigration enforcement.
Rodney Taylor,
I'm a people person.
a well-known Atlanta barber and double amputee, has been detained by ICE since January. He's lived in Georgia since childhood, recently got engaged, and was taken into custody shortly after applying for permanent residency.
We want to make sure that people are getting due process and that the voice of the American people are heard.
Some say this march represents much more than just one issue.
For me, it is to actually start speaking up. I'm really new to activism, but I felt like I couldn't sit idly by anymore and watch what was happening in our country without exercising my First Amendment right and speaking up against what I felt like was wrong.
Anti-Trump protests continue across California. Today, so-called Rage Against the Regime protests were held in Auburn, as well as this one at the state capitol. The goal here is to stand in solidarity with immigrants targeted by the Trump administration and telling the White House that Border Patrol, ICE, and Homeland Security raids aren't welcome.
For us, this is about showing our dissent against what is currently our government in all facets. We don't like what they're doing.
Some protesters are also calling for the Trump administration to release the Epstein files to the public.
Rage Against the Regime rally. It is a peaceful protest, again, an anti-Trump administration, but also some state policies and officials as well. I want to bring in one of the organizers, Joycey, here. Joycey, why did you guys decide to organize this today, and especially here in Coral Springs?
Yes, we have a lot of people. As a therapist, I know that people are struggling. They are wanting to do something. Us having organized these events has brought people an opportunity to see who in their community is thinks like them and is supporting. This is a nonpartisan group, and we just have people that are just saying, like, we need to do something. And this does matter. It does matter. Even here in the honks and things like that, it's like, okay, there are people who think this is crazy, that this is not fair, this is unjust, and it just really does matter.
What exactly do you think is crazy? What are you guys protesting against?
I mean, what are we not protesting against? We have imprisoned people down in this Alcatraz nonsense. We have just rights that are being stripped. Are being threatened to be stripped and being stripped left and right. So there's so much that we need to stand up for, and this is how things changed before. People think, okay, what does this really do? This is how things changed before, and so we're ready to do it again. If we have to revive this whole civil rights movement, we will do it again.
I know there are other parts of this protest today as well, not just this part, but there's also a school supplies drive, and then there's also writing letters to representatives. Yes. What is the goal overall today? Not just with this one, but this is, like you said, cities across the country are taking part in this protest.
Right. I mean, locally, we know that we have kids that are in need. We have families in need. Prior to this, we've collected food. And today, ahead of school opening, we're collecting school supplies for our community.
Protesters out at LA's City Hall saying they showed up to rage against the regime, primarily against the Trump administration's policies. Police say demonstrators, they blocked the southbound lanes of Alameda Street in downtown LA for some time as they marched through the streets. Well, the group says LA is being targeted by President Trump with his efforts to attack immigrants, the LGBTQ plus community, and democracy. There's no word, though, on any arrests made or any damages caused.
Also happening in downtown today, a national day of action dubbed Rage Against the Regime. A massive group marching to the federal building, blocking all lanes of traffic on the southbound Alameda Street between Temple and Aliso. This group says they are protesting what they say is an assault on immigrants, LGBTQ plus people, due process, and democracy by the Trump administration.